Hello everyone, it's Pat at Beads and Plenty More, and today I'm going to talk about wrapping a stone that doesn't have a hole in it. It's like a nugget. You might find one of these on your holidays, or you've just got a special one at home that you want to put a wrap on so that you can make it into a pendant. And I've got a bail made up at the top here so that you can put a cord through. Did a little bit of decorative work on the front of this one. This is rose gold that I've used on this one. And on this one, I've used black wire, which of course is quite striking on a clear stone. And again, another one with rose gold. Now, black wire is kind of a little bit special to work with because when you have black wire, you always have the black coating that has the, put these aside so you can see better. When you cut it, you've got a shiny copper in the inside. Now, a little trick that I like to use with black wire is you use a Sharpie marker and you just cover that little bit of shine, copper shine with the black marker, and it takes away that shine and makes everything black. Works very well. Anyway, that's a good trick when you're using black wire because black wire doesn't look really good when you see all those edges. So what I'm using today is this stone here. And I'm going to use the rose gold on it because I thought it worked really well. The wire I use is 22 gauge. I've tried various sizes, and the 22 seems to work really well. It's sturdy enough to make a nice wrap, but it also isn't that hard to work with your fingers. And then when I did the little wrap at the bottom, I'm going to use a finer wire. On this one, I did use the same wire. It's quite hard on the hands, so I'm going to make it a little easier for us and use a finer wire, the 28 gauge. So deciding how much wire, I measured this stone, and then I added up to 7 inches just to make sure I had lots of wire to wrap around and form the bail. So in this case, 7 inches, or almost 0.2 in metric. Okay, so I have those 3 pieces of wire pre-cut here, and I'm going to line them up so that they're kind of all even at the ends, and look towards the center because the center is where I do the wrap for the bottom. Now, I did use the same wire to wrap here, and it's much more difficult on the hands, but it does work in a pinch if you don't have 2 sizes of wire. So put a clamp on to make sure that's nice and sturdy while you're working, and I pre-cut 3 inches of the fine 28 gauge wire. Put a little hook on it so that it's easy to get around the start there, and then we're going to wrap round and round. And when you wrap, be sure that when you come down to put your next wrap in, that you almost overlap, and then just drop it down right beside so that you get some nice even wraps. I bring this around 5 or 6 times just to get a nice little wrap that'll hold the center together there, and then we're going to turn to where the inside is, and we're going to finish those little pieces by taking half of each side. So I'll take my cutter pliers and always cut from this side so that we know where we're cutting, and drop that down. With the fine wire, you can do it with your fingers. With the heavy wire, you should use pliers or nylon jaw pliers. The chain nose work or nylon jaw, then they don't make any marks. So there's my nice little wrap from the right side. So now what I'm going to do is hold that wrap very firmly. Actually, I'm going to work from the inside, and I'm going to spread these wires out, the left and the right, and I'll turn this to the other side. I don't have it very much in the middle there. A little bit more. Yeah, they do like to rotate. So we'll just leave the middle one. I want this one and this one. Separate them out like that. Now we'll take the 2 middle ones and bring them up because they're going to be the wrap that becomes the bail. Make sure I keep that center nice. So we'll put the stone in, and it's going to sit right on top of the wrap that I did. Bring these two center wires around, tuck them so that they sit as tight as I can get them around, and bring them to where I would call the top of the stone, like that. And then I'm going to take the pliers and twist these two together. And it gets tighter as I do a little bit more twisting. We do need it to be fairly tight. So now I can also press that in. Kind of get it so that it's sitting on the stone where we want it, and press it in. It's still not tight enough, so I've still got a gap there. So we will go in with the pliers again and do a few more wraps to get that nice and tight. Like that. So there we are. So then these other wires are going to come up and just come around this. This is where it would be nice to have an extra set of hands. I still don't have that tight enough, as I can see there's a big gap there. There we go. So bring this one around, just give it a wrap like that. Bring this one over here the opposite direction. Bring it around. This one comes up this way and around. And the last one on this side. Center this up a bit more. It's going to come up on this side. So you get a big mess of wires at the top here, but then you can tidy them all up to make sure that they're all tucking into the stone nice and tight. This one's a bit loose. Which one is that? That's that one. So I'll pull it a bit tighter. I always use the pliers to snug that up a bit more. Okay, so now still isn't as tight as I'd like it to be. So what we can do on the stone is take our chain nose pliers and do some little twists so that it tightens this wire. Put one over here, like that. Got two coming very close together here, so we'll move this one over to this side. I want them to try and be on all sides of the stone so that it holds the stone. We don't want the stone to fall out as we're using it. Tighten that one up a bit more. So at this point, we're going to make the bail, which is at the top of the stone here, so that I can have something to put my cord through. Tidy these up a little bit more. Since they're going in opposite directions, we want to make sure that they're tight. Okay, so these two are going to become the bail, and we're going to do a twist around. To get this nice and twisty looking, so we've got something with a little bit of style to it. Now we're going to establish on the stone which one we want to be the front. Got a dark piece here, but I kind of like this one the best. So I'm going to bring the bail down, just do a nice circle with this piece. I'm going to cut away that excess little piece there. And bring that down. Tuck it in really tight. Make sure it stays kind of rounded. I'll get my round pliers here to give a little style to it. And now this one can finish by coming around and holding that bail in place. Gotta watch which direction these wires are to make sure that we are continue the same direction, or we're liable to unwrap the wire instead of wrapping it. And the idea is to kind of get this so that it looks nice and even at the front top here. So there we are. Bring these around. Since I wanted to call this one the front, tighten that one a little bit. Then I'm going to take the round nose pliers and make some nice curls at the front here. Like that. Drop that so that that doesn't stick out. I'll bring this one over top. I'll give it a little curl, just to make those wires look a little nicer on the finishing touches. And of course you have more wires than you need, so the last ones you're going to just cut away and tuck. So cut that one away. Use my round pliers to get a hold of that little bit and tuck it into the work here. This one also can be just cut away. Always the finishing touches are what make something work or not. So get rid of that little bit. And one more. I'll just cut that one away as well. And that little piece can be tucked in to the work there. Here we are. So a couple of little curls to decorate on the front. And now it's time to check everything to make sure that this is going to hold the stone and we don't have any place where it's loose enough. This one's a bit loose, so we'll give it a little bit more of a twist. Like that. So, great way to decorate your stones that don't have a hole. Just put a few little curls in the front and tighten up all the wires. There, isn't that beautiful? Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.